Hey y'all, it's your girl Coach Crystal, and I want to jump in real quick with a thought nugget. We're going to try a little experiment. So, as you know, I stay really close to my vision and I stay really close to the people who have made me into who I am right now. Those are my mentors, my friends, my colleagues, my co-conspirators, as I call them. And I was talking to one the other day, and we talked about how my evolution into this particular stage of life and this legacy that I'm building is built on three kind of pillars. One was stability. The second one was literacy, and the third was fidelity. Now, I'm a child of the 70s. My parents were the first part of the stability movement, right? These are the people who had a direct deposit or had a consistent job, and they were the first people in their family to have some consistency in terms of their income. Now, that consistency and stability then led them to make choices, but they weren't necessarily literate in the financial choices they were making. So I don't think I'm kind of an anomaly in this scenario. It's the new working class, the working middle, some would call the working poor, right? So the middle class, the black middle class of the 70s and 80s, we were born into, and they were trying to create stability without a lot of literacy about how financial systems work, how financial products work. Now, they taught us, go get a college degree, go out, leave these little towns that you were born in. And then that turned into flight, right? That turned into desolation of these small towns because people who left to get college degrees never came back and poured into those communities. But we then learned a different level of financial literacy that wasn't based on our place or story of origin, right? Now, the next level, I believe, for people like me, generations like me who have children who are growing up in stability and gaining literacy, is to require that they understand fidelity, right? Understand that they understand the promises of the places that they come from and the responsibility they have to steward whatever we leave them in a way that not only allows them to live their dreams, but ensures the dreams of the next generation, right? So as we're thinking about financial security, paying for college, all of these things, I want you to think about what the promises of the legacy are that you are building, right? I'm a late stage orphan. Both of my parents are deceased. And as soon as my mother started to decline, I started to create our living trust. And the trust is really kind of all encompassing in terms of like when I die, how I want the funeral to look and where the assets go, all those things. But I did that because I didn't want my son, my only child, to be overwhelmed so much with the logistics that he doesn't have a chance to grieve. Because a lot of times our fidelity gets demised or dismantled by our inability to grieve properly. So I just want to say, if you are of the same age as me, 47, if you grew up in the same circumstances, situations, and conditions that I did with people who were doing their best with what they knew, it is our responsibility to now pass on what we know to the next generation so that they can be responsible for the promises that our ancestors wanted to leave them. Yeah, just a little thought nugget. Hey, if this is interesting to you, let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're talking to your kids about all the things that are evolving into their personhood and all the gifts that we're giving them, even if they don't know how to manage them yet. I'd love to hear what you're thinking, and I'd love to make sure that your vision is intact. So if you want to jump in over on our vision circle, jump over to thevisiozone.com, and I'll talk to you soon.